Disney parks are supposed to be the happiest place on Earth, but sometimes really weird and unexpected things happen that honestly should never happen. I'm Walt the Animatronic Duck, and today we're going to look at everything from strange accidents to animatronic fails. These are the most bizarre moments in Disney parks. Let's start with something really crazy. Tarzan Boy. In 2023, this dude was at Disneyland and completely lost it. Let's call him Tarzan Boy. Tarzan Boy decided it was a good idea to take off all his clothes and start exploring It's a Small World. They had to stop the ride and evacuate the guests. He started touching the animatronics and even had the audacity to sit down and contemplate It's a Small World from a very different perspective. In the end, Tarzan Boy swam out totally naked through the ride entrance. The police showed up, covered him, and took him away in the most humiliating way. And later, the Anaheim police arrested him for indecent exposure and being under the influence of a controlled substance. Do you think he should be banned for life? And speaking of people who should be banned for life, our next guest definitely deserved it too.
Big Thunder Phone.
Let me give you a scenario and tell me you wouldn't be furious. Imagine you've been waiting hours in line to ride Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. You finally get on, you're having fun, and boom, right in the middle of the ride, your train stops. They leave you stuck there for 1 whole hour before evacuating you. Now imagine how much angrier you'd be if you found out why the ride stopped. In 2018, during Big Thunder at Disneyland, a guest dropped their phone. Any normal person would just wait until the end of the ride, tell a cast member, and accept their fate. But not this guy. He decided it was a great idea to get out of the moving train and walk back to look for his phone, like that was totally normal. Obviously, because of park safety protocols, the moment he stepped off the train, the whole ride had to be stopped. And when that happens, they have to evacuate every single guest. It took more than an hour to evacuate everyone. The guest was removed from the park and almost surely banned. Please, never risk your life for something material. It's not worth it. As a tiny consolation, the guests who got evacuated at least got to see areas of the ride you almost never get to see. Stuntronic fail. This is Disney's Stuntronic, a crazy piece of technology that can calculate its own jumps and movements with perfect timing. Disney uses it to bring Spider-Man to life at Avengers Campus, and the show is honestly amazing. Ever since it debuted, one of the first questions people had was, what would happen if it failed? A TikToker even had the guts to make a fake viral clip where the Stuntronic crashes into a building at Avengers Campus, and a lot of people, and even some news sites, thought it was real. But it turned out to be edited. The thing is, that clip ended up being kind of a premonition. In June 2022, Spider-Man actually did have a malfunction. The show was going normally, but in the footage you can see that from the moment they launch Spidey, his pose looks totally wrong. He's basically stiff. Seconds later, he slams into the structure in a way that looks way worse than the fake TikTok. Luckily, nothing serious happened. It was just damage to the set, which Disney fixed super fast. And the Spider-Man Stuntronic is still performing today at Avengers Campus like nothing ever happened. Pandemonium! This one is probably going to give you a little PTSD. Did you know that before 2020, since Disneyland opened, it had only closed a few times? First in 1963, then in 1970, we'll talk about that one later. Later for the 1994 earthquake, and then on September 11th, 2001, after the Twin Towers attack. But as we all know, in 2020, because of the COVID pandemic, Disneyland was forced to close its doors for over a year, losing almost $4.3 billion. The COVID years were honestly super weird. It kind of feels like the world has been extra chaotic ever since then, don't you think? Animatronic thief. This is still one of the biggest mysteries in theme park history. There are a ton of rumors, but nobody 100% knows where this stolen animatronic really is. At Epcot, there used to be a pavilion called Wonders of Life. Inside it, there was an attraction called Cranium Command, where we met Buzzy. The ride was kind of like Inside Out before Inside Out existed. Over time, the pavilion closed, and Disney just left everything abandoned in the dark. A lot of urban explorers went inside and filmed the animatronics, and they looked super creepy. But one day, the abandoned attraction woke up without Buzzy. The platform where he used to stand was completely destroyed. The main suspect, who we'll talk about later, is Patrick Spikes, also known as Backdoor Disney. Rumor says he sold a lot of stolen pieces to a collector and basketball player. Spikes was arrested, put on probation, and obviously banned from Disney for life. Patrick says that Buzzy is in Disney's archives, and in September 2025, he came back to YouTube and claims he's going to release a new video about Buzzy with new information. But what exactly did he do that made him so infamous as Disney's most famous thief? Backdoor Disney. Around 2019, an infamous account appeared, Backdoor Disney. For Disney, this account was a total headache because it posted all kinds of photos the company doesn't allow online. Backstage pictures, restricted areas, and abandoned spots like Innoventions, Imageworks, Body Wars, and Cranium Command. Behind the account was Patrick Spikes, and the story took a really weird turn when Spikes was accused of stealing more than $14,000 in Disney items and props, from costumes to ride pieces, all while he was working at Disney. Like we said before, Patrick served his sentence, and today he's completely banned from Disney for his infamous thefts. Dragon fires. We've talked about these incidents a million times, so if you want more detail, go watch this video. But we had to include them here because someone in the comments is definitely going to mention them. It really feels like Maleficent in dragon form has a curse in Disney parks because she has caught fire twice. The first time was in the Festival of Fantasy Parade, where the steampunk Maleficent dragon breathes real fire. In just a few seconds, the dragon turned into a ball of flames. Luckily, no one was hurt, and the float was later repaired and brought back. The second incident was at Disneyland in 2023, when the infamous Murphy dragon at the end of Fantasmic had a malfunction that made it go up in flames completely. It was an incredibly scary sight, and to this day, the dragon still hasn't returned to the show, and nobody knows if it ever will. Hiroshima doll. This one might sound a little controversial, but it's really important. In August 2025, during It's a Small World at Disneyland, guests noticed a doll in the Asia section that wasn't supposed to be there. It looked worn out, with faded colors, covered in ash, and holding a sign that said, "Remember Hiroshima." The doll was placed there on purpose as a protest stunt. It was part of the Up in Arms campaign led by Ben Cohen, the co-founder of Ben & Jerry's.
We need to remember what war does to kids because we forget. Hiroshima wasn't just a military target. Playgrounds turned to graveyards. And now we're watching it happen again in Gaza. The minute we stop seeing children as sacred, we start losing our humanity. This is the moment to care. This is the moment to act.
No matter what you think politically, I think we can agree on one thing. Kids' lives always matter, and we should be more united and less polarized. Disney cast members removed the doll quickly and spoke with the guest who put it there, and then she left the park. But let's keep going with the list. When Ursula lost her head. This moment is a total classic, so we had to include it on the list. A few years back, this Ursula animatronic malfunctioned in the most spectacular and horrifying way possible. Her head completely detached. It slumped forward, just hanging there, dangling lifelessly from all the internal wires and cables. But here's the really terrifying part. The rest of the animatronic kept working perfectly. Her giant arms kept moving. Her body kept bouncing and swaying to the music, like nothing was wrong. This is, without a doubt, one of the most bizarre malfunctions we've ever seen in a Disney ride. Kite Tales. And we're ending the list with a show that honestly felt super bizarre. To celebrate the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World, Animal Kingdom opened a show that felt more like an experiment. A show with jet skis and giant kites. Literally, the whole thing was watching jet skis pull huge character kites around the lagoon, and then watching those kites crash in the most epic way possible. There was a Jungle Book version and a Lion King version. The show didn't last very long and was removed in 2022. And with that, we're closing this list. There are still a lot of events we didn't cover, so let us know if you'd like to see a part 2.